Well, hello, everybody. Certainly want to welcome you to North Texas, Arlington, AT&T Stadium. You know, they do things big here in Texas, and that's why we had to bring one of the biggest, most significant fights here to the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Because on Saturday, April 16th, Showtime pay-per-view, the winner of the main event walks away as the unified champion in the welterweight division. This will be just the 12th unification fight in the welterweight division. And the winner is just one belt away from becoming the undisputed and the first undisputed welterweight champion of the world in this four-belt era. I'm Brian Custer, the host of Showtime Championship Boxing, and from my understanding, April 16th, from what I've heard, is also Errol Spence Day in the city of Dallas, proclaimed by the mayor. Well, that evening, the WBC, the IBF World Champion, The Truth, Errol Spence Jr. will take on the WBA World Champion Yordenis Ugás, and they will headline what will be an explosive night of boxing on Showtime pay-per-view. Also, we have another explosive night on Showtime Championship Boxing, all of it here from AT&T Stadium, brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. Now, the pay-per-view broadcast, it kicks off at 9 p.m. Eastern, that is 6 o'clock Pacific time. It's a four-fight featuring not only the main event, but you'll also see the lightweight contender, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He's gonna be taking on the former world champion, Yordenis Ugás. It's a 10-round co-main event. The lineup also includes the unbeaten Jose Valenzuela. He's battling the former world champion, Francisco El Bandido Vargas. And of course, we'll start the night off with Cody Crawley. He's unbeaten, taking on the Riverside Rocky, Josecito Lopez. That's a welterweight fight. That kicks off the pay-per-view broadcast. But we also want you to tune in to Showtime Championship Boxing before that, because that night will begin on Showtime at 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 o'clock Pacific time. And you'll see the welterweight title holder, Rajab Butayev, taking on the top contender, Ismantas Stanionis. Those two will fight it out. Of course, they've got their eyes on eventually facing the winner of this pay-per-view main event. And that broadcast will begin with the unbeaten Brandon Lee taking on Zachary Ochoa. By the way, Brandon Lee, the 2021 Ring Magazine Prospect of the Year, looking to extend that knockout streak that he has of 16. That starts on Showtime pay-per-view or Showtime Championship Boxing at 7 o'clock Eastern. All of these fights are being promoted by promoter extraordinaire Tom Brown and TGB Promotions, and of course, Man Down Promotions, which is affiliated with Errol Spence Jr. I know what you're wondering, how do I get the broadcast? How do I get the pay-per-view? Well, that four-fight card is available. It is live, it will be streaming here in the US, and you can get it at showtime.com/PPV. It is available through the Showtime app, or you can just call your local cable or satellite provider and order the fight through them. For those of you who want to be in the house, and you certainly want to be here at AT&T Stadium to see this fight live, you can get tickets, you can get them and purchase them through SeatGeek.com. SeatGeek.com, it is the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. Now, let me bring here to the podium the man who helped make all of this happen. He's the president of sports and event programming for the Showtime Networks, Steven Espinoza.
Steven.
Thank you, Brian. The welterweight division has long been one of boxing's most glamorous, most interesting, most popular divisions. a place where fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya, and Floyd Mayweather have ruled. And this Saturday represents a significant step to figuring out who is the best 147-pound fighter in the sport today. 3 world titles at stake, and a 3 world title unification fits perfectly in what Showtime is doing in 2022, and that's putting the best against the best in the most competitive matchups. This past weekend, we had a thrilling fight of the year contender with Sebastian Fendor and Erickson Lubin. Still has people talking about it. And that's what happens when you put 2 elite fighters in the ring against each other. You get that kind of action, that kind of competition. And that's exactly what we're gonna see on Saturday night. As Brian said, we've got a full day of boxing. We're doing something that we've never done before. And that's have a full championship boxing card leading into the pay-per-view. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. local, on Showtime, the 2-fight card, opening up with Brandon Lee, and then Stanionis and Budiev. There's no other network, no other platform in the sport that is doing quality of fights this good 6 fights down the card. 5 fights down the card, we have Stanionis and Budiev, which is an eliminator fight. This is quality top to bottom, starting at 6 p.m. local for the 2-fight card on Showtime, all the way through the pay-per-view. And of course, if you don't have Showtime, we're gonna make it really easy to watch that pre-show with a free trial, 30-day free trial, followed by $3.99 for 4 months. Or make it real simple, you can watch it on YouTube. And then the pay-per-view, one of the strongest cards of the year. One of the disadvantages of having such a great fight in the main event is sometimes people overlook the undercard. And in the co-feature, we have a really exciting young fighter, Isak Cruz, coming off giving Tank Davis the toughest fight of his career. He is establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with and trying to position himself for another shot, potentially at Gervonta Davis in the future. There's a weigh-in show tomorrow, 11 a.m. local time. We'll be streaming on YouTube. We'll be doing the weigh-in live with Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell, Raul Marquez, and ABA World Champion Steven Jackson, who's also Showtime talent, will be joining that as well. But we know what we're all here for. It's a great card, a huge day of boxing, but we're here for Spence and Ugás, 2 former Olympians, 2 of the best in the division, 2 outstanding family men, 2 guys who are a credit to their sport. You've seen them on All Access, both episodes. We thank both of them in their camps for letting us in and allowing us to portray who they are outside the ring. We couldn't be prouder to be associated with this event. 2 fine young men, 2 great sportsmen, 2 elite boxers, 1 iconic venue with 3 world titles at stake. It's an event not to be missed. We'll see you Saturday night.
Great, Steve.
Thank you, Stephen. You hit it right on.